Hi everyone, my name is Sophie, and my presentation is going to be about special needs groups and disasters. So what counts as special needs groups for disaster and emergency management? That would be, by the CDC, the classification would be children, people with disabilities, people with blood diseases, but I also added some other groups here, and that's just anyone with any diseases, so like breathing diseases, I know I said blood diseases, but any other illnesses or diseases, and people with disabilities, mental, physical, combination of both, pregnant women, and yeah, just really anyone who would need more help than the average person navigating a situation of emergency or disaster. So some of the reasons that these people are more susceptible to injury or death in these situations is the fact that, number one, mobility. A lot of the people in these groups have issues with limbs or just bodily functions that they can't really move as well as or fast as the average person. So, for example, like with a fire and you have to run down the evacuation steps, they can't do that on their own. They're going to need help. And so the next one is understanding or developmental disabilities. So, or just, children too, like a lot of the people in these groups, they don't understand the magnitude of the situation that they're in. So it's going to be harder for them to fully get the care they need by themselves. And so they're going to need help. Psychological damage. Some people have PTSD. A lot of the people who are in these situations and are having a hard time getting through them, it's going to cause more psychological damage. A near-death situation will cause a lot of psychological damage. Injury and death, even, once again, back to the mobility thing, if someone's running down the stairs and they're already susceptible to injury, it's really dangerous. And time sensitivity, same thing with the mobility and understanding. It's just that a lot of people in these groups can't do things as fast or as the same time as the average person without disabilities or who isn't in one of these groups. Something that's really important in these situations for people in special groups is having adequate caretakers and people that are trained and prepared to take care of them and their disability. These caretakers also have to be prepared to take care of themselves as well as the people they're taking care of, because now they kind of have two lives in their hands. They have to have the emergency supplies for, general supplies, so needles, Band-Aids, CPR stuff, tourniquets, all that for injuries, breathing oxygen supplies and stuff. And then, of course, the specialized stuff for the people that they're caring for. They must, be physically strong enough to carry those with the physical limitations, so a broken leg or someone who can't run as fast. They need to be able to physically pick them up and carry them out of the burning building that they're running out of. And they also need to be able to stay calm, especially for those with mental disabilities who aren't fully able to understand the magnitude of their situation. They need someone who is going to be calming and comforting to them in times of distress. So here are some federal duties, policies, information, and just other information and resources that I got from the CDC website. And here are my references. Thank you so much for listening.